All right, hello. This is the second video from the upstart YouTube channel called Southern Hammer. It's brought to you from the land of sweet tea, hospitality, and probably all the firearms that are precursors to the Holy Bolter. Tonight's video is I'm trying to make it shorter than the last one. We're gonna go over how to build a cathedral and how I chose to paint it, in case anyone wants to replicate it. The scheme that I usually choose to paint this and a lot of terrain recently is based off of J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings trilogy, mainly like Osgiliath or like the Minas Tirith, like the White City, kind of how that was laid out. It looked exactly the way it looked on the big screen whenever Peter Jackson did his trilogy. He nailed it. He was definitely true to the art. So I kind of try to make it look like that. What that ends up being is kind of a darker gray, dry brushed up with some blue roofs, and that's really about it. It's a pretty stunning effect. So this is one of the buildings. It's a big old cathedral, real Gothic looking and stuff. This was sent to me. Came home from the local movie theater, going with my father-in-law to see Superman, which is great, by the way. Man, what a good movie. Still like Henry Cavill's Superman though. God, he just nailed it. Anyways, moving on. So came home, this thing was on the front porch. I figured, hey, I got like, I don't know, I got about an hour. Let me see if I can knock it out. So let's go over an equipment list first. Equipment wise, what I choose to use. Drakenhof Nightshade, that'll be for the blue roofs. Nuln oil, Citadel. Lahmian Medium from Citadel. Citadel's Grey Seer base paint and Pallid Witch Flesh layer paint. I got 3 syringes here. We'll go over those in a minute, kind of how they're used. Got a box cutter, just in case you got some things you need to cut. Pretty big brush, Gorilla Glue, Grey Seer, Citadel spray primer, Alina's tacky glue, a mask whenever you prime stuff so you don't like kill all your brain cells. You're gonna need some of those. Pair of scissors, some really janky makeup brushes that I commandeered from my wife. She's probably cool that she'll see this video and ask like where they are, and she'll be like, oh, that's what you did with them. So just 3 kind of random makeup brushes. They don't have to be pretty. These things cost like $1 or something, maybe less. This is optional, DeWalt drill, and then this awesome device off Amazon that once you put those 2 things together and pull the trigger, like it shakes that can up in like a minute. Beats shaking it for 3 to 5. All right, so if you get one of these kits, I think they're all over the internet. Somebody made this on some hero out there made it with a STL file. I get these from a guy that has a commercial license to print them. They're great kits, but there's all kind of different ways to get them out there. I'll include a link in the description if you don't have a 3D printer and you feel like you need to, you'd like to buy them or something like that. I'll give you the option if you're in the continental United States of a place. Not the only one out there, but this guy's always done me right. So the kit itself, it's going to come with a couple things. Get rid of that door because I think it only comes with 2 doors. So it comes with 2 doors and then these pieces. And then we're going to build them like Legos in a second. So I got all the pieces and I kind of laid them all out. Now, none of these kits have ever come with directions, but all these kits are they're so intuitive that you don't really need directions to put them together. They only go together like one way, like they go together really well, like peas and carrots or something, or like the answer to a riddle. The answer to a riddle is so simple that as soon as you hear it, because you're pretty stumped, and whoever's telling you tells you the answer, you don't even argue with it. You're like, oh yeah, that just kind of makes sense. So these kits kind of go together real intuitive. There's a couple really small portions that we'll kind of get into that are specific to this one. All right, so there's this bottom floor. The way you can tell that it's the bottom floor as opposed to this one right here, it looks a little bit different, is the bottom of these prints are going to be, they're usually pretty flat. The rest of these prints on the bottom of them, they got these little notches. That's how you know what you're dealing with. So this is your base floor right here. This little portion right here is that's where the door goes. So you can, if you're feeling like a real, savvy, probably get you like a safety pin, cut it in half, and shove it in there and actually make this door like open and close on a hinge if you want to. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna glue this thing in there and call it a day and keep all the doors shut. Stranger danger. All right, so yeah, you'll do that. You'll stick that in there with some glue. You'll shove this in there, and then you'll just start stacking these pieces together. So this piece goes on top of that one just like that. All right, next up is this one. Goes right on top. And again, it just kind of slots in. Next piece is this one right here. Again, kind of only fit one way. I mean, you got these little bottom portions right here. It's only gonna fit one way, so that thing's gonna go on there. Oh man, don't make me a liar. I'm not the best, most savvy video editor. So this is what happens when you don't glue this thing down. Okay, there we go. There, man. Okay, gotta work the problem. It's okay. Life's full of problems, you gotta work them. So next piece, this one right here. It just goes right on top. So stick that thing up there. It's gonna look like that. You're gonna have this next one. You're gonna stick that thing right on top of there. Again, like the answer to a riddle, it's just gonna kind of fit. Next one is this piece right here. You got a big old hole right there in the center. Kind of supposed to go over that hole that's right there. So again, it goes on top just like that. You got this last little tower piece. It goes on top just like that. And then last but not least, you got the very top of it. Again, this thing's got full of holes in it. It's got some prep holes there, and it slots in. So that's it. That's assembly of it. What I'll use, I'm gonna pause the video in a second. I'm gonna either use whatever I feel like doing, either Gorilla Glue if I feel like something really needs to stick on there real good. But for the most part, I'll use this Lahmian's tacky glue. This stuff works real good. Only whenever I'm doing builds with some of these kits like a bridge. Probably got one of them things coming in the mail in a couple days. Those things are super cool. With a bridge, you need to use something like Gorilla Glue because whenever you pick that thing up and it bears weight and stuff, it just helps it hold up better. But all this stuff, I mean, gravity itself is going to push down on every single layer and floor, and it's probably going to hold pretty well with just this original tacky glue. We'll see. So I'm going to pause this video. I'm going to knock both of these things out, and then we'll kind of keep going. All right, hold up. All right, I feel like I should probably take a minute and go over this, at least demonstrate it. It's YouTube after all. So again, I'm using Lahmian's tacky glue. What you're gonna do is just kind of trace this whole thing around. I do this for every single layer. I'm just gonna film this one layer, and then I'm also gonna film the spot where I found the second door goes. Again, like the answer to a riddle, it just staring at me right in the face. So we'll go over where that second door goes in just a moment. Again, just liberally applying. It's fine. Like the only way you can mess this up is if you didn't use enough glue. That's about it. Too much glue, it's not really a thing. Okay. All right. So this next piece again goes like this right here. Just stick it on it. So this Lahmian's tacky glue is it's white, but it dries clear. So whenever it's dry, whenever it's super clear all the way around, you know it's ready to be primed. All right, I'll be back in a second. Okay, like I said, back. So once you get to this level, you're gonna see this other spot right here, and that's exactly a notch for this second door. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some glue here, and I'm gonna put some glue on the other side of the door. I'm gonna push them together. Give me 1 second. All right, this one seems to fit a little bit better than the one on the bottom. So that's what it should look like. Something along those lines. All right, I'm gonna keep knocking these things out. All right, see you in a minute. All right, so that's 2 buildings done. Now I just gotta wait for them to dry. We'll prime them real quick, and the paint job on these things, I don't know, I think it's probably the easiest paint job I think I might have ever come up with for terrain, and it's also super, super fast. I think the total time for this project from like very beginning all the way to the end might take me, not counting the drying time, maybe like 1 to 2 hours, maybe an hour per building. That's it. I don't know. We'll figure it out here in a second. All right. See you in a minute. All right. So all the glue dried. What you'll be left with is something that's pretty sturdy and all put together. Yeah, dried all the way around. So next step is put on this mask so you don't kill all your brain cells. Shake this can out for about 2 minutes, 2 or 3, or you can stick it on something like that for about 1. Go in a well-ventilated area and just prime the thing, like apply liberally. Anytime I'm doing priming, it doesn't matter if it's Warhammer, miniatures, or models, or terrain, or anything. I usually keep the same principles. One, like don't hold the thing too close. If you hold it too close, you're going to run into the possibility of obscuring any details. If you do it too far away, I mean, you might get something called a misting effect. It means if it's cold outside, the paint coming out of it will aerosol and start to freeze and attach to the model. It makes it look real janky. Also, if it's real humid outside, it'll interact with the moisture of the air and also kind of make it look weird. So anywhere between like 6 to 8 inches is kind of the sweet spot. And whenever I prime, I take the nozzle and I cut it as if I'm, you know, cutting a ham or something like that. You see, I'm cutting it, and all the Citadel spray primers has really, really good coverage. You cut until you get a really good, smooth, even coverage across the whole thing. All right, I'm gonna pause the video. I'll be back in a second, and this thing will look all primed. All right. All right, these things are primed. Good coverage throughout. It's gonna work out pretty good. Now it's ready for the next step. I'm about to be cooking with the grease and moving pretty fast. So next step is Lahmian Medium and Nuln oil, if you're going for the look that I'm doing. So I take about 10 cc syringe each, go ahead and fill them up, and then I do about 1 to 2 milliliters at a time. So Nuln oil, you know, I'll just start right there. Lahmian Medium. So Lahmian Medium is important. A lot of people will say, why can't I just use water and stuff? So the Lahmian Medium itself kind of, I'm not a scientist or something, but it breaks up the pigmentation inside the acrylic paints and the shade paints and stuff and the oils a lot better than water does. So you're just going to get a much smoother application. If you try it once, you'll understand what it is. So I'm just going to get this thing on a big old brush. You're going to move it around until you get about that consistency right here. All right, so this right here is the fun step. You used to apply liberally. Now, your job is just to stick this stuff on there. Like, again, it does not have to be beautiful. You actually don't want it to be beautiful. This is terrain. So this step, there's a lot of crevices in this one. I'll make it a smaller brush. Yeah, I might run upstairs and get me a smaller one. So lots of crevices. Essentially, you are going to cover this entire thing with this mixture. Whenever you're done, we'll move on to the roofs and stuff. Do some dry brush and whatnot. Yeah, you're getting pretty close. You're in the home stretch. So do this around the entire model, and then I'll show you guys how the dry brushing magic does. One tip, whenever you're doing this, if you can help it, curve yourself around the roofs. Like, don't allow any of this non-orange stuff to get on it. It's just going to kind of darken it. It's not the end of the world if something gets on there. If you got some Grey Seer like I do, you can even touch it up. You just want to keep those roofs real vibrant so they contrast real good with what we're doing with the grays. All right, I'm going to take a minute, knock this stuff out. Might go get a slightly smaller brush than this, and then yeah, next time you see this, it'll look like Nuln has been all over it. All right, be back in a minute. All right, that's one building done. Took about 5 minutes or so. It's all right if you get some Nuln oil and whatnot on the roofs. You can go back and here in a minute, I'll touch it up with Grey Seer. It's fine. I mean, if you're making mistakes, congratulations, you're still human. I think it's what you choose to do after you made that mistake that really defines you. That's fine. Well, there's a fix for it, just like everything else in life. So I want to show you this real quick because my earlier technique was kind of trash. So the more Lahmian Medium you use, the better and quicker this stuff's going to flow. So just kind of no real exact science to it. So what you'll see is this stuff just kind of goes on like magic. So and I ordered some camera equipment and stuff off the Amazon machine earlier, so that way I can get my right hand back when I'm doing these videos and whatever, if I choose to do this stuff in the future. My right hand's like, it's one of my favorite hands. So it's just like that. And again, the more Lahmian Medium you use, the better it's gonna just flow in. I got a slightly smaller brush. I got this one over here for kind of going around the perimeter borders. Again, this will take you about 5 minutes or so. It's not a big deal. If you mess up a little bit, it's all right. I'll show you how to fix it. All right, I'll see you in a minute. All right, next step is dry brushing. If you're trying to make something dry off a lot faster, whenever I was done with this and the other one, I just stuck them right next to this fan and turned it on high. Put in some earplugs, put on some cool rock music, and went back to work. So now I'm on this one. So you're taking Grey Seer, Citadel base paint. So you got a makeup brush. The reason why I use scissors on this makeup brush is sometimes you'll use it and all the bristles will become hardened with paint. I just cut it, I dump that stuff in the trash, and I'll move on with my life. So take this right here, you're gonna dab it pretty good. And I'm using this 2.5 pound barbell weight just as a counterbalance. So wipe off almost all of it onto a napkin. So if I can do this with one hand. All right, what you're trying to do is just capture the raised surfaces. So I move really, really fast for this thing. So you'll start to notice that, especially on the sides, like right here and stuff, how it's really kind of slowly coming to life. So once I get like both hands, again, I'm missing one of my favorite ones, holding this camera over here. You can really start to move really, really fast with it. You're not pressing hard on it. That's why you call it dry brushing. And look, this isn't a beauty contest for this stuff. We're gonna make it look good. I mean, it's gonna really pop in a second. Once we do this step and the next one on the blue roofs, you're gonna have a piece of art. But it's called grimdark for a reason. It ain't called like grim beautiful. Okay, so here's that kind of next step. Again, whenever you like run low, you can just dab it again and get it off on there. And this is just a kind of a fast process. You can probably get this thing knocked out in, I don't know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes or something. And then we'll move on to the next color. So you'll do this part and you're just working your way all the way around the model. Okay, I'm gonna pause this thing and I'm gonna get to work and I'll see you guys in a minute. Well, all right, first dry brush step is complete. By the way, backtracking, for the build, after doing 2 of these, it's about 1.5 parts Lahmian Medium to 1 part Nuln oil. That's about the ratio you want to go for. You want this stuff to just flow on there pretty easy in the crevices. So dry brushing, I had a casualty in the war already. This thing died. It's okay, not the end of the world. We have this awesome brush, and yeah, I mean, if I'm working with this and you got anything better, like rock on. So you'll notice that the first dry brush of Grey Seer's, it's very light, kind of subtle, but it also does something. It adds some depth to the model already. If you didn't do this, it just looked kind of flat everywhere. So you're really cooking with grease if you can kind of see the edges of this. I'll kind of rotate it a little bit. You see like edges here, and they're just a little bit lighter, and that just kind of goes off the natural principle that those portions would catch light, maybe possibly like discolor faster than other parts. But for the most part, it helps really just add a lot of depth to the model. So this is the first one. The first step is this. Whenever you're done with this part, you can go back on the roofs and do Grey Seer. The better coat of Grey Seer you have on the roofs, the better it's going to look whenever you end up applying this Drakenhof Nightshade. So I'm going to go ahead and knock out this other one on the floor because I don't know, I'm going to do both of them tonight. I got about another, I got like 45 minutes I can spare. Yeah, I'll be back in a second. I'm gonna knock this other building out and we'll kind of go on to the next step. All right. Okay, so that's the second building done. It took about, I don't know, about 10 minutes or something. Yeah, so it'll look like that. Turn them around a bit, you can kind of see the depth, especially the further away you get. Which again, like, you throw this thing on a table, you're really going to be able to tell. So the next step is we're going to do Grey Seer right out of the pot. I'm going to use a bladed brush right here, something like this. You can use any brush you want. This is just one I got on the table. That'll actually do the job. I'm going to take it and I'm going to touch up all the roofs just real quick before we move on to the next step. So I'll do that here in a second. I'll see you guys on about, it'll seem instantly for you. I'll see you in about 15 minutes. Maybe 10, I don't know. See how fast I can move. All right, so that's one building done. That took about 3 minutes, so it's pretty quick. I'll show you kind of the technique or lack thereof, I guess. Some super professional painters might think this is just a little too lax, but it's okay, this is terrain. It's not like you're trying to paint like High Marshal Hellbrick or something. So one, just get like a pretty good amount, stick it on there. And you're just kind of working it. So you can get to the bottom. It's fine. Again, once we hit it with the Drakenhof Nightshade, it'll kind of blend in a little bit. That's why I like to use this edged brush and really kind of do a little, cheat some angles here. Yeah, a little bit of time up there at the top. Then you can move pretty fast on the way down. Get the border done, and then the middle's just real fast. And there you go. And then you got your little part done with some Grey Seer. Ready for the next step. All right, I'm gonna knock this other building out. See you in about 2 minutes. All right. Yeah, about 2 minutes later, on to the next step. So the next step is Pallid Witch Flesh. It's a layer paint from Citadel. Just shake that bottle up pretty good. Stick it on a palette pad. Anytime you're doing dry brushing, try to take the paint, make it as thin as possible. Otherwise, you'll just get more paint on the bristles, and when you try to make it dry, it'll just have some wet, sticky spots. You don't want that. So you make it as flat as you can to begin with on a pad. You're good to go. Chuck that thing on the side. Take the brush, dab it, and then just be aggressive. All right, I'm gonna try to do this. Switch hands real quick. So this Pallid Witch Flesh really has a noticeable effect almost right away. So again, I'm doing this one-handed, so I don't hate too hard. All right, so really start to notice, especially on the edges and stuff. Really bring stuff to life. So yeah, that'll do it. And that already looks different than this. You can kind of see the contrast gradient. So the Pallid Witch Flesh is like right on top of the Grey Seer. Just really does well. Has a great effect. So I'm gonna do this around both models. I don't know, I'll be done in like 5 minutes, and then we'll go to the last step, and the video's over. All right, see you in a minute. All right, so that's the Pallid Witch Flesh, Citadel layer paint applied to everything. You can already tell it's just got a ton of depth to it now. They turned out pretty good, so we're on to the last step. This is it. After this, you can throw this thing on the table and rock on. So the last step is Drakenhof Nightshade. It's a shade paint from Citadel. I'm gonna take this brush because it's man, it'll get the job done. Be all right. All right, so I'm just taking it straight from the pot, and it goes right on top, just like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a minute and knock this thing out all the way around the model, and I'll be right back. Okay. All right. That's the Drakenhof Nightshade applied. You can tell the effect from earlier to now is, I mean, the video says it all, I guess. Casualties of the war, 2 bottles of Lahmian Medium, about, we'll say like 1 and some change of Nuln oil, a ton of napkins for the dry brushing, 1 pallet pad sheet, 1 blue solo cup. Total build time, start to finish, not including drying times. You gotta, 1, you gotta wait for the glue to dry, and 2, you gotta wait for that Nuln oil to dry. You can speed it up with a big fan or something. For 2 of them, I don't, probably took me like 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours total. For 1 of them, I mean, yeah, just cut it in half. So pretty cool kits. I'll use them for some battle reports. We got some big apocalypse match coming up in September. I'll use it for that as well. Yeah, I appreciate you making it. If you made it this far, hopefully this will help you get down the road a little bit. Look, there's a lot of things in this life you can't control. That is very true. But I mean, you can control this paintbrush right here. I had an old timer tell me one time, he said he was talking to another gentleman. Another gentleman asked him, like, hey, if you could be a fruit, any fruit, you know, what would you be? And the old timer said he looked him straight in the eyes. And first off, he said, like, man, that's a weird question. Like, that was the first thing. Second thing he said, he's like, thought about it for a minute. And he's like, you know, I'd like to be a raisin. So the other guy looked at him kind of real quizzically, and he's like, why would you want to be a raisin? And the old guy said, like, man, I'd like to be a grape that's been through some stuff and it's still good. So stay strong. Maybe I'll see you guys on the next one. It's a little bit of Southern wisdom for you. All right, goodbye.